Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 39 of Super Switch Headz, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is David Howe.
My name is Matthew Stoner.
My name is Patrick Nisley.
Oh, we got a very special guest here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got Rocky Gargiulo here, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the one and only.
Thank you.
How you doing, bud?
Pretty damn good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here.
You've been playing some Nintendo games?
A little bit too much.
All right. Sounds good to me. Well, we're going to be talking today all about the new Luigi's Mansion game, Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Nintendo Switch. Dropped on Halloween. Spoiler. I think we all like it. We like it more than Town anyway. We're going to be talking
real high bar there.
We're going to be talking about that on the show today. I'm very excited to talk about that. We also got some news items we're going to be going over. Miyamoto and Reggie were both in the news this week. We've got some retro news and speculation that's going to be kind of interesting to talk about. And then we've got some Smash stuff that's going to be coming up real quick.
It's going to be packed because we obviously didn't do the news last week.
Right.
And then it also has just been a lot of stuff going on that we
And
can
there's
talk about.
Pokemon leaks.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Pokemon leaks too.
A lot of them.
Gracious.
A lot of them.
Did you guys enjoy the week off?
I did.
Yeah. What'd you guys do? You guys go to Spain or France or something?
It was funny. We were at my house and my wife was like, "Don't you have to go record tonight?" And I was like, "No."
And she was like, "Oh yeah."
We planned ahead.
That's good. Did you guys have a good Halloween?
I did. I actually, I had fun. I took my kid trick-or-treating, and then we came back and played Luigi's Mansion.
Hell yeah. That sounds like a really nice
It was
dad-son
nice.
time.
It was.
Yeah. Matt and I both won Halloween costume contests. This
Yeah.
Halloween.
What did y'all dress up as?
I reused a costume from last year. It was Squirtle.
Oh,
Yeah, because we were talking
That's
about
right,
the
yeah.
Squirtle costume, but then I added an additional layer. My girlfriend and I, we were Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtles.
Too cool.
Very nice.
Too cool.
The great thing about the costume, other than that we won $1,000.
Fucked up.
$1,000.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They won $1,000.
Yeah, we won 10 $100 Visa gift cards
Oh,
at some bar on Rainy that we wandered into at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
wow.
That's amazing.
It was insane.
Yeah. That's nuts, dude. I did not win $1,000.
What did you win, and what were you?
Well, okay. So I was Sonic the Hedgehog, but I went online and found the shittiest Sonic the Hedgehog costume that I could find, and then I ordered it from Walmart.com. And it's supposed to go like over your face because it's got like the kind of stipple eye things that you can see through, like Sonic's eyes. But I guess my head is just like really fucking big.
Or it was a child's costume.
Or it was a child's costume because it just kind of sat on top of my head. So I kind of looked like this kind of alcoholic Sonic or like just got off work, sort of Sonic. But I was at the Mohawk and, there was this like woman going around Mohawk and she was like, you have to enter the costume contest. And I was like, I don't know. I kind of like want to go. I just saw this like metal show. I kind of just want to go home. And she was like, you'll fucking enter the costume contest because I'm saying you'll win. And I'm like, all right, I don't know. And so then anyway, so I go into the bathroom and I'm peeing and I'm telling my brother, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then she comes into the men's bathroom and yells at me. What? She goes, hey, you. Do not leave. Make sure you enter the costume contest. But then I entered the costume contest and I won.
Nice.
And I got free tickets to all the Mohawk shows during South by Southwest.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that'll be kind of with a +1 too.
It's probably worth $1,000.
That's so funny. The same thing happened to Casey and I because we were walking down Rainy, just like taking pictures with people, and some bar promoter was like, "Hey, we have $1,000 costume contest. Come to our bar."
That's so fun. I should have walked by there.
Yeah, it was great.
That would have been tight if we went head to head.
Yeah.
I wonder who would have won.
Well, Casey and I looked at each other, and then she told me, "Hey, I locked my keys in my car." So we're like, "Fuck it." And
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
So $100 of that dollars went to Papa Lock.
Yeah. Luckily, we had an extra key.
Yeah, it's not too bad. What about you? Do anything cool, Rocco?
I went and saw Ghostland Observatory.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Hell yeah.
Branch.
Good band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
5th time seeing it this year. It was sick.
Whoa.
Hell yeah. Wait, you've seen them 5 times this year?
Dude, 3 times during South by, one of which I got punched in the face.
Those Victoria's Ghostland crowds.
But always a good time. Fucking love them.
Hell yeah, dude. That sounds like a blast.
Well, shout out to Ghostland, little local guys.
Oh yeah, those are Austin boys, right?
Oh
Yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's a nice little band. Well, I think that's a good
Yeah.
amount of vamping. I say we get on with the news.
So we'll get into it. Lots of stuff to talk about. So Miyamoto, like David mentioned, he was awarded Person of Cultural Merit by the Japanese government, and apparently this is a thing that happens in Japan. They give out to a couple people every year. And he's
I imagine it's kind of the equivalent of like being knighted in England these days.
Maybe.
It's like somebody who kind of like represents the country culturally.
for art stuff in particular, it
Right.
seems like the other person receiving is a manga artist, and Miyazaki has received it in the past and stuff like that. So he is the first video game specific person to have received that, apparently. Though Miyazaki worked on video game, maybe not technically.
Yeah, I wouldn't call like
his studio did.
I mean, you might be thinking of the other Miyazaki, the guy who made the Dark Souls games.
No, I'm talking about Ni no Kuni. But and then, like you mentioned as well, Reggie Fils-Aimé gave his first lecture as his position over at Cornell, and there were some people there that talked about what he talked about, as well as there's some videos on YouTube of like the Q&A and stuff you can watch. And some of the interesting tidbits I wanted to mention were that he talked about how the Wii U was a failure and kind of acknowledged that, but that said that it was a failure forward, and I'm quoting him. I'm a big fan of, you got to fail when you're doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of led to the Switch, that, they were trying to do something like the Switch. So
Such a Pizza Hut thing to say.
some other,
What does that mean?
Reggie used to work at Pizza Hut, dude.
yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, before he worked at Nintendo, he was like working at Pizza Hut.
Panda Express.
Yeah,
Express,
yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
badass dude.
some of the
dude.
questions were
around,
about
for sure.
Panda Express.
Yeah, that's what I would have been asking.
You're talking
I know
about
I'm a Nintendo fan.
adult Reggie, not teenage Reggie.
I'm talking about Reggie Miyazaki, the creator.
Another interesting tidbit was apparently that Iwata didn't think that Wii Sports should be packed in with the Wii, and Reggie advocated for that. And obviously that was a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
And also somehow Retro came up when people were talking about studios like Retro having how much control do they have, and he said that Retro apparently has some autonomy over their release dates and some of that some control over that, kind of like Game Freak does.
As does Next Level, as we'll get into
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
And then my favorite sort of silly Q&A was somebody asked Reggie what it feels like to be a meme, and tried to kind of tie that into the business. And he talked about how, just creates relationships with fans.
Yeah, embrace it.
So
I do know he was also asked about Mother.
I
Yeah. He was like, somebody was like, Reggie, where's Mother 3? And he was like, God damn it. Like, I'm out of college.
seriously,
Like, stop asking.
like, seriously, people, I have no control over that. But it's talking about Retro. Moving on, Retro Studios hired an artist that we know from Halo 4 and 5. Apparently, the artist that did the design of the Spartans from those games.
There we go. Some Halo in my Nintendo podcast.
Yeah. See, this is like a wet dream for you, man.
It is.
His name is Kyle Heffley. So we know they've been doing a lot of hiring for Metroid Prime 4, and that's
Great. Just
one
another
of them.
person to bog up the Austin traffic.
Everyone's so spicy in this episode.
And then there was a rumor going around. I think some user on like Reset Era or something said that they talked to somebody who said that Retro's canceled game was a singing-based RPG. So obviously this is total rumor, but do you think what do y'all think about that? Do you think that's true, or what do you think about a singing mechanic-based RPG?
Well, yeah, I was reading that article that you posted, and it was like, because it was like you sing to move around the terrain, which I've actually seen as like an indie game, like, kind of recently. There was like a game that I played at some game jam where you have a mic.
Sing into a mic?
Yeah, you sing into a mic and the ground would go up or down based on your pitch, and your like kind of side scrolling character would move along. So it kind of sounds like it was almost like that sort of game. If this is true, this could be just total bullshit on the internet. But but yeah, apparently they couldn't get the like core mechanic to work, and Nintendo got really frustrated and canceled it. That's what I was hearing.
And everywhere that talks about this says this, and I have to say it too. because I love this game. If you want a singing based game, check out Wandersong. It's fucking fantastic. I love that game.
Yeah.
It does, you don't actually sing into the game. You use the control stick to control the singing element, but there are platforming things where you sing and it controls how the platforms move and stuff. It's really cool.
Well, I wonder if that's true. I really want to know.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, it seems like a really weird direction to go. Maybe that's why they were like, listen, you're either doing this or Star Fox Racing or nothing. And they couldn't decide.
Oh, man. Also, Nintendo had like it's like quarterly investor meeting, and they've released some updated financials. So we got a lot of new cool numbers to talk about. The Switch has sold over 40 million units now, 41.67 million units as of the end of September.
Right.
So
we're a whole month out from that, with the Switch Lite having been out for longer than when these numbers are recorded.
So yeah, the Switch Lite only came out on like September 20th or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a week before these numbers came in.
Apparently in that quarter, before the end of September, 1.95 million Switch Lites were sold.
It was a good idea.
yeah. So everybody's Switch Lites doing pretty well.
Especially in America, right?
Right, yeah. So that's one of the big things that's kind of surprised the analysts, is that handhelds do really well in Japan and usually sell better there. But it has sold, and I have the breakdown here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. But a lot more in the U.S. than in Japan. Obviously, the U.S. is bigger, but it's like a strikingly large number. 800,000 in the U.S. versus almost 400,000 in Japan. Almost, or more than twice as many.
Yeah.
And again, that's only like a week and a half or something.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
So, also the software numbers got updated. So, of course, Mario Kart is still in the lead as the top selling Switch game at almost 20 million units. Smash is in second at around 15. Same with Mario Odyssey. And then the new ones on the list that I feel like we should mention are Mario Maker 2. Is got almost 4 million, and then Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is a little over 3 million. So those made the top 10.
Do you know how many units New Super Mario Brothers U has sold?
Yes, that is above those. It's almost 4.5, basically.
Very
million.
interesting to me that New Super Mario Brothers U has sold more copies than Mario Maker 2.
Yeah, well, it's been out a lot longer.
Yeah,
this is again through September, so holidays come around.
But like what? Mario Maker was June.
It came out the end of June.
Yeah, so I mean, I would have expected a few more.
Lead on it.
A few more sold than that, but I mean, fucking 4 million. Is not a little number.
We're talking 3.93 for Mario Maker 2 versus 4.59 for Super Mario Bros. I think after holidays it'll probably pass it up. And then they always do, a Q&A with the investors, and the English full translation of that, I don't think has come out. I couldn't find it, but people individually translate some of the questions. And there were a lot of investors asking questions about remakes and 3DS games. And I don't know why everybody was so interested in that. Probably because, 3DS is dead and Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening seems to have done well. So like, are you going to keep doing this? Like, are you all going to keep making money? And they were like, I don't know. We're going to make new games. Was sort of the answer, but we're open to it. And it sounds like 3DS games are all coming on the Switch was sort of what I kind of perceived the answers to be.
That is great. Like, they need to bring 3DS games to the Switch. And it's like, once they go through all the Wii U games, they should just start doing 3DS games. Because, like, there's a bunch of gems on there that, like, I didn't buy because either the Switch was on the horizon or I already had my Switch. You know what I mean? Like Samus Returns would fucking kill.
Oh, yeah.
Bravely
Default.
Yeah, the Bravely games would do really, really well. Tamagotchi Life.
Some sequels to those. Because it sounds like they want to make new games more than remakes, which... Good. I think they should.
Yeah, I think they should have a whole remakes department. They might as well. People buy remakes and re-releases on the Switch like nothing else. It's like a re-release machine.
I purchased 3 3DS. 3 3DSs?
Yeah.
So, I'll totally rebuy it. Stuff.
You've already proven that you're willing to purchase.
Over and over again.
Yeah,
Speaking of the 3DS too, apparently, in this quarter, the 3DS sold 0.37 million units, which is like almost like a 60-something% decrease over the last year. So the 3DS is really on its way out.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still out there. It's like the budget system, 300,000 units isn't too bad.
The other thing I wanted to mention, it didn't make the top 10, but Fire Emblem Three Houses sold like over 2 million units. globally. So that did really well. Anything else you want to talk about with financial stuff? I covered a lot of it, but
yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'll just say that it's cool to see this before any sort of Black Friday or holiday sales coming in. Like that's only going to shoot up like a lot.
So
that by the end of this year,
I think like the next big milestone for the Switch in sales would be like beating the Super Nintendo, which I think is like so we're at like 40.
It's beat the Super Nintendo.
Is it the Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
So the Super Nintendo sold almost 50 million units. So it's got another 10 to go.
Never mind.
So roughly,
right.
A little bit less than that.
We can
technically.
do it.
Yeah,
but I honestly think
it'll happen this year. I think
so too, with
Yeah.
the Christmas and the Switch Lite.
Yeah,
and
I
all
think
that.
the 1-2 punch, because people are going to be buying Switches and Switch Lites this Christmas.
Yeah.
It's going to be nuts.
So,
Not to mention the number of people that went out and got one on Halloween for Luigi's Mansion.
apparently, we'll talk about it later. But Luigi's Mansion.
I mean, personally, I've purchased 4 separate units for family members.
Oh wow!
yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, so making it rain for them.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
Great gifts.
yeah. A very expensive stocking stuffer for an oblong stocking.
So we just got an announcement within the last day or so that the Terry Bogard joining the Smash roster presentation is happening on the same day this podcast comes out. In fact, it will have already happened. So
It's coming out at like 5 a.m. Pacific time. or
yes,
something
that's
like that.
right. So where we are, that should be like what 7 a.m.
I'll have to wake up early tomorrow.
What time is that GMT?
Shit, David, that's your job.
Yeah, Patrick asked that question.
It's 1 p.m. motherfuckers.
Nice.
13 o'clock.
13
Yeah.
o'clock. So this was kind of fun. Like I've been following this closely because there were a lot of rumors that Terry was going to come out early in the month, but there's been this theory, and I think we talked about it in the past, where 7-Eleven posts ads in Japan. And
7-Eleven gate.
They've been like
You heard it here
predicting
first.
it, but they didn't do it this time. So people were all like, I don't know what's happening. But they announced that this is going to be a 45-minute presentation. Obviously, everybody listening to this, if they care, already knows. So I don't want to speculate too much, but that's really long.
We should speculate though.
Okay, just a little bit.
Just see what we got.
Because all the other ones for the DLC characters were like 15, 20, 25 minutes, basically. They've been getting longer. Or maybe that's actually not right, the order of that. But so there's like an extra 20 minutes at least. Either this character is super crazy and requires 45 minutes of explanation, or there's going to be some stages, some modes, some
Me costumes.
I bet you there will be me costumes.
Yeah, we got a whole
It
story
just
on
seems
that.
like, how can 20 minutes be taken up by just any one of those things?
So here's my theory. So I don't think there's going to be any new modes. I don't think there's going to be any new characters revealed. I don't think there's going to be any of that. I think it's just going to be showcasing Terry, but the budget has gotten so low that it's just going to be like one long, unbroken 45-minute shot of Sakurai controlling all the characters
Wait,
at
just
once.
just hang on.
Yeah, and
Hang
he's
on.
just like redoing takes.
Sakurai doesn't have 2 controllers. He has 10 controllers.
to show all the alts of Terry at once.
Yeah, so that's my theory, but that's also kind of a joke. But,
I seriously think part of it is going to be that they're going to talk about they even in the Japanese website it says they're not going to announce new characters or
Right.
talk about new characters. But
do you
I think
think they would just lie about that?
I don't think they would lie about it.
45 minutes though.
But I think that they could talk about what's happening next. Like, I think they could be like, so there's going to be another Fighter's Pass and it's going to have this many characters and they're going to release in this time frame. And
Yeah,
we're
okay,
going
so
to
you've just
support-
described like 2 minutes.
I know that's hard to like come up with 20, but maybe it's a beefy update too.
Yeah.
Maybe even if it's not new modes, it's, I don't know, man. I'm excited about this, and we should stop speculating because everybody out there already knows.
Yeah.
if they care to.
Well, do you have any guesses, Matt?
What's going to be in the 45 minutes?
Other than a town rep. I'm not letting this bit die.
Oh, yeah. My favorite character in town. I don't know. His
The
character
little town hero.
the guy.
I've completely forgotten that game. I just
Isn't
bring
his
it up
name
because I have
Axe?
to.
Max.
Or Axel? One of
Who
the other?
fucking cares?
I don't know. It'll probably be 30 minutes of Terry,
Yes.
and then
30 minutes of Terry.
and then 15 minutes of Smash news.
Yeah.
Maybe like new tournament modes, like online tournament, some spirits, some based on themes or based on holidays.
Yeah, maybe some like SNK spirits or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think we'll definitely get some more me costumes.
Yeah.
Yes.
SNK
Well,
me
yeah, we'll
costumes.
definitely get me costumes. It'd be cool if we got me costumes with songs like fucking like Sans did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
But it's like, but I don't know about modes though, because I thought they said last time that they were pretty much done with.
So
new
he
modes.
said pretty much.
Yeah.
It was really weird. That's a really weird phrasing.
So I was verbatim when I said that.
It
just
was.
now.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he said it in Japanese, so
Yeah.
he didn't say pretty much. But the English translation was pretty much the last mode, and I was
Right.
like, you don't say that. That's
Yeah,
like you say,
yeah.
So which makes me think there might be one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get new modes. I think we're going to get iterations of existing modes.
Right,
So
like updates to things, kind of.
yeah, updates to like tournament mode to be more manageable other than random every
Maybe
single
like a
week.
World of Light expansion or co-op added to World of Light could be kind of cool.
It's not my idea, but somebody said, I think it was on a Game Explain person said, maybe this will be the first game that integrates those online invites that they updated with.
Yeah, that
It's
sounds right.
Because they
Yeah.
added that, and we all thought, oh, that'll come with Overwatch. But
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
heard anything about it, so I assumed Overwatch isn't using it.
So 10
Right.
minutes of using the
10 minutes
Nintendo
of
Switch
how-
Online app.
Well, it requires that long to explain how to use
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's going to be bad.
Let's navigate the user
Passwords.
interface. Yeah.
Well, you were talking about me costumes. There was been a potential leak, obviously it could be fake, that there's some me costumes, which maybe they're coming tomorrow, and maybe everybody listening already knows this, but Mallow from like Super Mario RPG, and Kako Demon from Doom.
Oh yeah,
Somebody,
the big round meatball
yeah,
guy,
the like flying one-eyed.
meatball guy.
He just looked like a meatball.
Yeah, he looks like a spicy meatball.
And so, at first I was like, that's weird. They wouldn't release those me costumes with Terry, but then I was like, you know what? The last fighter, they had some random ass me
They had like
costumes.
Goemon last time.
Yeah,
right?
and that's not. And they had like some
And
Mega
Sans.
Man
Yeah,
characters, and so maybe these are this time. And theoretically, Doom Eternal was supposed to release this month. Maybe they were gonna line this me costume up for that, and then they're like,
Maybe we're getting 5 minutes of Terry and 40 minutes of me costumes.
I think something else I heard somebody talking about was potentially, speaking of costumes, is like character costumes, like actual costume changes for the characters beyond just color alts. I think that could be really, really
that could be
awesome.
that could take up some time if they added that.
Although we should talk about that leak. Like,
Yeah,
I know
so
a lot of
there's-
people are saying that this is like, oh, this confirms Doom Guy and this confirms like Gino.
Right, that's what the assumption was at first. But then once I realized they're doing this presentation today, I'm like, oh, maybe these are just random me costumes that come out with this.
Or someone modded their Switch.
Yeah, it's
and
also
put these characters into it because it
be fake.
almost is like too convenient because like everybody's been talking about Doom Guy and everybody's been talking about Gino.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like giving me real Grinch leak vibes.
I will be really curious to see what the me costumes are announced with Terry, because I think that will, give us another clue into this. And
But
also,
by this point, you've seen it.
there's also been a leak about Frogger maybe being another Smash character as well. So we'll see.
If tomorrow I wake up and Frogger is in Smash, I will buy everyone who listens to this podcast a copy of What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh, that's great. All right, we should move on because everybody already knows we're wrong about all this. I guess they also added, I should say before we move on from Smash, they added like a free DLC thing for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers. You get some Smash Gold and Classic tickets, and everybody just like, where's our vouchers?
What does that do?
So the Gold lets you buy music in game.
Okay.
And the
I already own all the
classic
music.
mode tickets let you like it keep your, I don't know what it's like the rating in classic mode where if you lose it goes down, but you can pay money to make it go back up to make it harder and to give you the better ending or whatever. I can't explain it very well because I
Yeah.
don't know the terms, but it's for classic mode.
I'll pass.
It's free, but yeah, if you're not already needing those things.
Are we not ever going to get any more characters or levels for Mario Kart?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, that's a really good question. Like a Mario Kart 8 DLC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Playing that
we
seems
should
to-
really I feel like that is absurd that we haven't gotten that at this point yet.
I'm offended.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the second half of this Smash Direct will be showing off Mario Kart 8
Mario
DLC.
Kart 8
That'd be pretty tight.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I can see that going either way, but I don't.
Yeah. That would
feel
be
like
a great Nintendo Switch Online
bonus.
bonus.
I would pay. I'd pay 60 all over again.
Oh yeah. I would definitely pay for it. I mean, they should just keep building onto that game like they're doing with Smash.
Whether those me costume things are leaks or not, we'll find out. But there's definitely been some huge Pokemon leaks. Like the whole freaking game has been leaked. If you want to avoid spoilers, keep your eyes shut on the internet.
And maybe skip forward like a couple minutes.
I don't know that we'll talk in depth about it, but like every Pokemon has been showed off. People had early copies of the game, and like apparently some people had like what do you call them, like guidebooks or something, and we're posting images.
Yeah, there was a guidebook that was posted, which is, I didn't know they were still making those.
And so there's been a few different leaks, and essentially like every Pokemon has been leaked. And I think we talked about, there was a previous leak that had like 600 Pokemon in the game, but now it sounds like it's just 400. So do you want to list them off?
Pokemon rap style.
Catch 'em,
What was it? Nidoran, Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey. I can do that, motherfucker.
Raichu!
But I guess,
Jam.
I don't care about Pokemon that much, but some people are upset because there's a lot of major Pokemon missing.
There are many big Pokemon missing.
Yeah. Like, again, hopefully you've skipped forward, but Squirtle is not in this game.
Yeah, no Squirtle.
Greninja is not in it.
No Bulbasaur.
No Bulbas. Yeah, I guess Charmander is the only one of the OG
Like a lot of
three.
starters aren't in it from all the games. Yeah.
And so, like, people on Reddit were commenting about that they did a vote of the most popular Pokemon, and the two Pokemon who won last year were Greninja and Incineroar, and they're both not in the Galar region.
So we'll see. Like, maybe they'll.
Can you import them from the bank though?
No, they don't let you
Not
put
right now.
in Pokemon that aren't. We'll see if they update the game to allow any of that kind of stuff.
That's what like the huge controversy was about, was like that only Pokemon from the Galar region will be available in the game.
That's right.
Totally. Which I guess they just didn't want to like make HD. We've been through this before.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like
I totally get it. I actually think it's fine, but I am also not a huge Pokemon fan, so I don't.
okay, you've made it clear, Patrick. that you
Fuck
fucking
Pokemon.
Hate Pokemon.
And then like so that Nintendo also to like verify that these are true leaks, like not that there was any question, but Nintendo's been sending out like DMCA strikes on YouTube videos and takedown orders and that kind of stuff. And there was even some rumors that one of the leakers has been caught.
Apparently
around.
the Pokemon Leak Discord avatar he was using was the same avatar as his YouTube channel, and then that had a link to his Facebook on it.
Oh my
so
God.
that's pretty dumb.
How many Pokemon leakers are in the Galar region?
400.
Well, there's one, and it's Sirfetch'd. That's the only Pokemon leak I care about.
Are you saying Sirfetch'd doesn't have honor?
I don't know. He just has a long leak.
Yeah, if you're angry, I mean, and if you want to find out about this stuff, a lot of it's been taken down, but you can still find it.
Yeah.
And this completely buried the news that Toby Fox did a track for Pokemon,
Which I heard. The
yeah,
track.
it was like that was a thing for a minute, and then everything from Pokemon got dumped onto the internet. So.
Yeah. That's the Toby Fox song in Pokemon Sword and Shield is better than the entire soundtrack of Town. I will say that. It reminds me a lot of like, it's like a really good mix of Undertale and Pokemon. Like he nailed the style. I think it's, I liked the track. I'll say that.
Pokemon's coming really soon. Are y'all excited, or did you pay attention to this
In a couple
leaks
weeks.
at all? Or?
Yeah.
Not
It's the
anymore.
15th. It's coming out.
After not having Squirtle, man.
You're no Squirtle, no sale.
Yeah, we're talking. I was talking to Matt earlier about Squirtle being our favorite Pokemon.
Yeah. He was my starter in Pokemon
Super
Blue.
disappointing he's not going to be in there.
Yeah, that's a shame. Either way, though, I'm
still
don't
gonna buy it.
really care. Yeah, I'm going to get it.
I'm going to
kid
complain
ourselves.
for a little bit, but I'm still going to spend my money on it.
I'm going to wait until review. I don't want to like get it right away because it's like there's been so much controversy about it, and it's like I kind of want to just like see what the reviews are like before jumping in. But it's like I didn't get Pokemon Let's Go because I already knew I wanted to get this game before I even saw anything from it. So it's like I haven't played a mainline Pokemon game in a long time. I totally miss Sun and Moon. I don't have anything in the Pokemon bank, so that doesn't concern me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. The online looks good. I'm pumped.
I think it's a vocal minority of people that are really upset about all the.
It always is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on then, I guess this can kind of, before we talk about Luigi's Mansion, apparently Luigi's Mansion 3 is the fastest selling Nintendo game in the United Kingdom in 2019.
Beating out Link's Awakening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Steelbook.
Link's Awakening.
I wanted a steelbook.
Nice. Yeah, Link's Awakening sold super well there and fast. And I'm sure Pokemon's going to beat it. So, whatever. But
yeah, we were talking numbers for games that came out this year. Pokemon's going to spank all of those.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. That's going to move fucking units.
But yeah, so take a quick break and get into it.
Yeah, we'll be moving on to our topic right after this break.
All right, so we're going to talk about Luigi's Mansion 3, which just came out. Real quickly, Luigi's Mansion, the first one, came out back in 2001 on the GameCube. Did y'all play that at all?
It was a launch title.
Yeah,
right?
it was a launch title. Yeah, it was fun for the time. It's a very short game. But I feel like it was mainly like a tech demo for the GameCube, right? It was like showing off a lot of like the particle effects and like lots of stuff on the screen and kind of physics engine and stuff. Yeah, it was like a fun little thing to distract you when you were a kid.
They remade it and re-released it on the 3DS last year. But the second Luigi's Mansion game came out on the 3DS back in 2013, Dark Moon, and that sort of divided a lot of people. There were a lot of people that didn't like it as much as the first one. And then last year in September, they announced that the third one was coming out, and it just came out on Halloween. And I think we've all four been playing it to varying extents. Mm-hmm. So just first off, big picture, how do we feel about this game?
It's great.
It's great. I agree.
Yeah.
This game is really fucking good.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
And super polished, too.
Where are y'all at in the game?
Matt?
I'm done.
Nice.
Matt's beaten it.
17
I am
hours.
about halfway through it. I am probably about 7 hours in, and I think I'm on because it's floor based or whatever. I'm on like the 9th floor.
Okay.
So
Like the 9th, floor number 9, or like the 9th floor that you've opened up so far?
it's tricky because it doesn't all go in exact order.
Yeah.
It generally does. The one I'm working towards getting is number 9. I'm on B2.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah.
What about you, Rocky?
Yeah.
I am on the garden level.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
floor 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah. So I've probably played the least out of all of you. I had a really crazy weekend this weekend. I barely had any time to play games, but any free time I had, I spent playing this game.
Nice.
And I've got everything, like all the abilities unlocked at this point, and I've beaten a few bosses, and yeah, I'm loving it so far. I didn't want to come record this because I just wanted to play.
That's why I was late.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, this has been a really great game to play with my kid. He's not really wanted to play it co-op or play it very much. Just hang out with me and watch me play it. And he's been fucking sharp though, dude. He's like, it's right there. You got to pull on that thing. I'm like, oh shit, it is right there. And I've been standing because essentially it's a puzzle game. I didn't want to point that out. Like if you're wondering what the gameplay is like, that there are parts where you fight ghosts, but really you're solving puzzles the whole time.
And even when there is combat, the combat is like more simplified in this game. I wouldn't say it's simplified, but it's kind of like made a lot easier, like with the slam mechanic.
When you're
you know what I mean?
like the average ghost you're fighting is super simple, right?
Right.
The bosses are almost like puzzles. You have to figure out what they're weak, and some of them really are kind of more puzzle. Like I feel like you have to really be like, oh, I've got to do this to do that to hurt the boss. And then a lot of them are sort of to figure out the timing and that kind of stuff. But
that's cool though that your son's able to point out stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
How old is he?
He'll be 5 real soon.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a little baby. But
Yeah.
I think part of the reason is I think they did a really good job. Just if we're talking about the puzzles,
Yeah.
I think they've done a really good job, having visually linking all your mechanics to environmental items. So for instance, it's anything that you're going to need to stick your plunger on, has a circle on it, essentially, or a lot of the stuff does. And it's
Right.
so if you see a circle, you're okay, how am I going to get my plunger
I
to
don't
where it
always
needs
see
to
those
be?
circles at first, or he might see it first. He's
Yeah, but I feel like a
shoot
kid-
your plunger on that.
Yeah,
He's
a kid will get shape recognition really
Exactly.
fast, So it's good for all different ages.
Yeah.
Does he think it's scary?
No. And that's one criticism of the game. I've never played the other ones, but I've heard that this is the least spooky of the 3.
Yeah, I mean they're all cartoon Nintendo
Right.
characters.
But there's like, my understanding is the first one was like there were sections where it's completely dark and there were more
Right.
jump scares.
Right.
There's not a lot of that in this. There's a
Yeah.
little bit, but like, and like you said, it's not like it's going to be like fucking watching a real horror movie or something, but like, but it's a little,
It's like The Descent.
but, I did want to say too that I think this is one of the best looking first party games on the Switch. Maybe even just generally speaking, one of the best looking. I mean, I just think the visuals are gorgeous.
I would say it's the second best looking game on the Switch so far. First being Mario Kart 8. I think.
Over Breath of the Wild.
Well, Breath of the Wild like looks amazing, but it's like
It's tough. They're all stylized.
like Breath of the Wild and like say Witcher 3 and like Doom and these games that are like really visually incredible on the Switch. Astral Chain as well. Like those are incredible looking games and they're really pushing the hardware far. But like you have to make sacrifices with those games.
Right, exactly.
Like Breath of the Wild, like a lot of the times, especially when you're playing in handheld, it's like really blurry. And like The Witcher looks like Vaseline is, smudged all over the screen. It's like Vaseline is smudged over a PS4 game. You know what I mean? Where this is so crisp. Like the graphics are, I feel like there's good anti-aliasing in this game.
the lighting in this game is
incredible.
really great.
Yeah.
The sound effects.
Yeah.
The
good
textures
sound
for everything is also great.
Yeah, I was in like a dialogue scene. I was playing next to my girlfriend, and I was like, Sasha, look at Luigi's fucking hat. I could like count the threads on his hat.
Yeah, you can see the threads on it. Yeah,
It's pretty amazing. And again, it's like it just seems like, and this is something that Next Level. This is something I kind of alluded to earlier. Like Next Level, like has taken their time and avoided crunch in game development up to this point, right? Especially when working for Nintendo. Nintendo's like really had a kind of hands-off approach with them for the most part. And it's like this game was delayed and it really shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they built the game for the hardware rather than try to shoehorn it into something, using the Unreal Engine or whatever.
right. And I think just like kind of you were talking about The Witcher or Doom or something, games that are more realistic graphics on the Switch and just don't look as good as games that have these more, like Mario Odyssey or Luigi's Mansion 3 that have the more cartoon based style.
Mm-hmm.
They can just look so great.
I will say though, this game looks a lot better than Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, it does look better than Mario Odyssey. Which I think looks
I
good
think so,
too. I think
definitely.
Mario Odyssey looks really good.
Yeah,
but this game I think does look
Mario
better.
Odyssey in handheld mode is like kind of hard to play, because it's an open world. There's a lot of stuff in the distance. It's like this is like close quarters. Everything can be rendered really well.
You're in
It's
one
just-
room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Those are the sacrifices that you have to make.
Exactly. Yeah, if Luigi's Mansion 3 was like a wide open space open world game, it wouldn't look as good, right? Yeah. Were you going to say something, Matt?
This game's great.
So while we're talking about the visuals, you have this note on here, David. I think it was you, maybe it was you, Matt.
Yeah, I added these.
The in-engine cutscenes too. Yeah, really the cutscenes flow right from the gameplay.
Yeah, and there's zero loading like for the cutscenes, and the cutscenes look like pre-rendered cutscenes. Like at first, I was like, are they streaming H.264? What are they doing for this? But it's like, but there's no load times, and you can like. And like during the
Move
cutscenes,
and-
you can like trigger animations with the A button as you're like going through dialogue stuff. And I just think it looks so good and so crisp. And then also in addition to that, the animation of all the characters is fucking incredible. Like I think the best I have seen on the Switch, like for first party Nintendo.
I think
games.
it's one of the best. I think it might be the best first party Nintendo
Yeah.
game in terms of visuals. And I mean, the gameplay of this game is fucking great
and they're
too.
doing these kind of like animation techniques with the characters, like old school Disney shit, like when a character like bounces up and down, their body elongates, and as they hit the ground, they kind of squash down and their faces contort. And it's all this little stuff that really just makes it feel like a classic cartoon, while obviously looking like a 3D video game.
So the other thing that I think is super great about this game is the gameplay. I mean, that's what Nintendo excels at, right? I mean, they make fucking great gameplay, and that's what makes good video games. But so we kind of talked about how it's really just a puzzle game, but like, it's just so satisfying to use his tools. You know what I mean? To like, even though you're not doing, I mean, what, there's like 4 things you can do or whatever, like, or roughly.
Yeah. I feel like Guigi kind of,
Is
multiplies that.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
But it's all the same things that
Yeah,
he can do.
yeah,
But it's so satisfying to figure out these puzzles using these different 4 tools you have, and it just feels good. I don't know if y'all feel that way too.
The first puzzle that made me really appreciate this gameplay and the mechanics of puzzles was there was a gem that you find hidden when you blow up a rug. It like rolls, and then a gem pops out, and I was like, oh my God, how many rugs have I not blown over?
That's so true.
Yeah, and so I would like go all the way back and look for rugs to blow.
Yeah. Even at the very beginning of the game, it does that really, really well. It's almost like a little bit of a Metroidvania at the beginning where it's like you've got these areas you can't get to until you upgrade your shit. And then you're like, oh, wait, I should go back down to the basement and see if like my new tool will... I saw that gem in the washing machine. How the fuck do I get that out? Like, really, really nice.
And the little achievements that they have in there too.
Yeah, this game has achievements.
Yeah,
It surprised me. It kind of came out of nowhere.
I forgot about that. So it's one thing about playing with a 5-year-old is you have to read every dialogue to them. He's like, "What's it saying? What's it saying?" And then
you can't tell when you guys are like, wait.
But like the first time an achievement popped up, he's like, "What's this? What's that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, oh, we just got an achievement in a Nintendo game. So one thing I will say though is even though the gameplay feels so smooth, the default controls are a little odd. Like trying to, because you move in space using the left control stick, and then you like move yourself 360 degrees around with the right control stick, and the game teaches you to press like
The face buttons.
and that's really hard to do. But
Right.
then I read this online. It's like the shoulder buttons do the same thing.
Yeah, they don't tell you that in the game.
No, they don't tell you that in the game.
Yeah.
And it is so much better once you start using the shoulder buttons, like infinitely better. Like,
I think it's the right.
Frees up your thumbs.
Right.
Exactly.
I think, what is it? R does the flashlight. L does the plunger, and then when you press both at the same time, it's like the
dark light.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that you could use the shoulder buttons until like 2 hours after I beat the game.
Oh no,
man, that sucks.
So you were doing the claw grip with your index on the.
I was doing the claw grip for a little bit. Just I played so much Halo that sometimes that grip and using face buttons. I've been playing that way for a really long time.
Right.
But something I learned in the settings that normally when you are using the vacuum, either sucking or blowing, that you're stationary, but you can turn that off to where anytime you move the left joystick, you'll also rotate.
Right.
So like an hour in, I
Switch to that.
I switched to that mode so that I can move my character while I'm sucking or blowing.
You found that to be a little bit better.
I feel everything that I say about this game is very sexual.
There is a lot of sucking and blowing in this game, unabashedly. Yeah.
And screaming.
I will say another thing that I think that the controls being a little like weird and tanky is a holdover from like the GameCube era of Luigi's Mansion. It's like it's kind of like when you remake Resident Evil. You know what I mean? It's like the Resident Evil remake, the one for the GameCube and the one that's out on the Switch now. Yeah, it's still got the tank controls because it's just like the kind of game that is being made. You know what I mean? So you kind of can't do away with those. The one thing I really wish was in it, and it's like almost like I shouldn't give this game a pass because I didn't give Jedi Outcast a pass. Can't invert the Y-axis.
Yes.
And it's just so fucking obnoxious. And it's like you can use the gyro to tilt up and down,
gyro,
which feels pretty natural, but it's like, but at the same time, it's like, just give me that option. It's like, why? It's hard for me to understand like a game coming out in 2019 doesn't have that option.
Well, Nintendo's never been great with their quality of life.
Most
controls.
games have invert Y-axis.
I didn't even notice that it didn't have that.
Yeah.
Because I played it normally and I play inverted on all FPS games.
Yeah.
But the fact that I think it was
Third person
and locked camera.
a locked camera that my brain didn't switch to inverted camera controls.
And I'm getting used to it as well. It's like if this was a first person game, like I would be like, fuck this. You know what I mean? But because it has the gyro and because it's kind of different, my brain is able to wrap around it a little bit better. I just wish I'd never gone inverted as a kid because now I'm fucked for the rest of my life. Every time I like hand a controller off, I have to pause it and go to the settings.
That's how I am too.
Yeah, it sucks.
I want to gush a little bit more.
Go for it.
Is this game? I've talked about this on previous episodes. Is like I love puzzle rooms, like escape rooms. Because you can like interact with stuff and like you're not sure what part of the environment is part of the puzzle, and some things are red herrings. And
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can interact with that don't matter.
yeah, exactly.
To just add to the like ambience of the game.
Yeah, but there's 14 floors of this.
Yeah.
And it like triggers that part of my brain where I played this game probably like 7 or 8 hours straight on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then I went to go meet up with a friend for coffee, and I did not have any social skills. So I was like, I just want to solve puzzles.
You just wanted to suck up all the coffee mugs.
There's something very satisfying about that too. You just can enter a room and just destroy everything in this game.
That's why it's taken me so long to get to where I'm at right now, is because I just suck up literally everything in the game.
Yeah, it's nice to have a 5-year-old who has no patience for sucking up money. He's like, go to the next room. And
That
I'm
is
like,
funny.
But there might be coins in here.
There's so much fucking money in this goddamn
That's
hotel.
the best fucking
Yeah,
part.
yeah. I love that. I played this game for like an hour and a half, and I already had like $5,000. It's just like, this is such a lucrative hotel to be
and you
snooping
don't
around
really
in.
need to buy the items that much because it's not that hard of a game. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like the items can help you, but like it's kind of like some of the items give you a reset of a life, but it's like if you die, you just get reset anyway. I mean, maybe you won't have the couple of hits on the boss or something, but
It would have been cool if you could like upgrade your weapons and shit.
yeah.
Like with money. Yeah.
Yep. Did you ever play Smash TV?
No, I never
Oh
did.
yeah, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's like a sequel to Robotron, but like in that game, there's like gold bars and cash everywhere.
yeah, that's right. There was money everywhere.
Yeah, this is like a Nintendo Smash TV.
And I like EGAD at the beginning is like, he's like, just pick up money, because sometimes it's nice to have money.
It's like
you're not
total
wrong.
acknowledgement that it's just fun.
Yeah.
A mechanic in the game that doesn't matter that much.
It's nice when the bills are like floating down. You have to suck them out of the air.
The toilet.
Yeah. Just stacks of cash.
Lee, who was in a previous episode, he came over and we were playing online multiplayer. And online, there are objectives where you have to like find 25 ghosts. But Lee and I are in a room and where there's like cash flying. Where he's like, we don't got time. Let's get this fucking cash. Every time that Lee found like tons of cash, he'd be like, I don't care about the objective. I just want the money.
That should be the objective, is just get as rich as possible.
There is one objective where you collect like $100,000.
the coin one or something like that. Well, let's talk about that since we just kind of naturally
Yeah,
came
I
up.
haven't played any of the multiplayer.
So the game has co-op you can play in the story mode where one person. We haven't talked much about Guigi. Maybe we should talk a little bit about Guigi, which is a slightly new
maybe before we get to
mechanic.
multiplayer, basically that's like kind of one. It's like the new additions to this game, or well, I guess Guigi was in Dark Moon.
He
but-
was in the like remake.
Oh, that's
of,
what it was.
of the one of the first one,
But just as a player,
Yeah,
too.
it didn't really make a lot of sense.
But basically, Guigi is like this kind of empty vessel character that you like insert your soul into. And then like, oh, I love that whenever Luigi is on screen, like Luigi's just conked out. Like it's very dark. It's, but yeah, it's like, it was like that and the plunger are like the new mechanics that were added into this game, from the old ones. And those are both really, really good additions, I think.
And you can play the story mode where one person plays as Guigi, and I haven't done that because my son hasn't been interested in it. But I understand from people saying online that it's a lot of fun to just play through the story mode like that, because Guigi can do everything Luigi can do, except he can't go through water or fire or whatever. But
Turn
like,
knobs.
yeah, you can't
Right.
open doors with him. But
He can like T1000 through bars.
But he
which is
can
kinda
do
cool.
that.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
you get a little bit of like it's a nice. It's not like playing the hat in Mario Odyssey.
Right. That's yeah. But he's still a little nerfed. I do like that he has less health, but it regenerates.
Right,
I think
yeah.
that's kind of cool. But yeah, let's talk about multiplayer.
So the game has like obviously the co-op and the story mode, like we were just talking about, but then it has two modes for multiplayer. There's the sort of co-op local mode called Scarescraper's online. That's the co-op mode like you were talking about. Is that what y'all played? You and
Yeah,
Lee?
we
It's also like a roguelike, right? Essentially, like it's randomly generated every time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every room is randomly generated. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And then there's the Scream Park, which is like a team-based versus mode. I played a little bit of that. My cousin came over, and I did get my son to play that, and we played a couple of those modes, and those were pretty fun. I mean, it's not like get the game for this stuff, but like it's a nice little addition to play. I haven't had a chance to play the one that you and Lee played, the Scarescraper stuff yet.
Yeah, before we go, those mini games like the bumper boats,
Yes.
like that's the best one.
That is, yeah,
It's super fun.
It's like a catapult or a cannon or something. I kind of liked that one too. The other one was just like who can collect the most ghosts. and that wasn't as fun because there's
you're just pulling back and jamming A.
Yes. But the other two had a little bit more interesting mechanics. And
Aren't
the
there
bumper boats.
8? But you have 4 to start off with?
You mean 8?
8 minigames?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. So I haven't played all of the ones there. All I know of is the 3 in Scream Park that we just talked about.
Yeah, that's
and
all I
then,
know too.
Then there's the co-op one, but I know they are going to add stuff too. Apparently, they've said there's going to be future DLC for these modes. What that is, probably more minigames.
That'd be awesome.
That's cool. I mean, I know we were kind of bemoaning DLC because they said it was going to be kind of a feature complete game. Are you guys looking forward to Luigi's Mansion DLC at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff's for me is a nice addition, but it's not like I'm not super jazzed about it.
Right.
But I haven't played them all yet, so I don't know.
What is the DLC going to be? I don't remember.
We don't know. They haven't really said. They said
but
it's
they did say it's going to be paid
going to
DLC.
be paid DLC for these multiplayer modes.
Yeah.
So what that means, more options within the existing games, more mini games. I don't know. I'd be really curious to see what it is.
Make a full-on binding of Luigi, man. That's what I'm talking about. Just keep adding to this game forever.
So, I don't know. I mean, the only other couple things I had on here is like, it's about a 15-hour game. Is that about how long it took you to beat?
Yeah, I think
roughly?
right around 16, 17.
Yeah.
Can you see yourself playing this game again? Like, replay value-wise, like, do you think you would go through it another time?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Like, did you get all the gems?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, all the gems and all the booze.
Okay.
I guess we should talk about that because, like, we haven't gotten deep into that. There's 2 kind of optional collectibles. There's these gems, which doesn't really do anything. It's just, like you said, there's some hidden under rugs or whatever, and it's satisfying to find them, though.
Yeah.
And then there's booze, which are like extra ghosts you can go hunt out with that are, again, optional, not important, but... so that adds some to the length if you want, or if you don't care about that, you can breeze through and just ignore that stuff and probably beat it in 10 or less. I don't know. Give or take.
I find that to be an impossible notion. Like, the game, like, makes me want to find everything on my first playthrough. Like, I'm really like, holy shit. Like, I'm spending way too much time just sucking down every single, like, curtain and all the clothes and everything.
Sucking down those curtains.
It's a reasonable amount of collectibles. It's not like Mario
totally agree.
Odyssey where there's like 800 and something moons you're like, I'm going to fucking do this, or you're just like, I'm done. Like it's like it's a good amount. I feel like it's like, oh, I can do this. I can get all these gems. And
there's this guy on YouTube called The Completionist, and he goes through, I don't know if you guys have ever seen his videos, but he goes through and just like 100% games and talks about his experience doing it. And he said he fucking hated this game because like usually in a game, if it's like, oh, you have to like get X number of money on your playthrough, if you get less than that, you'll also unlock each one of those achievements. But in this one, like, you have to get the number allocated for each achievement with each playthrough. So he played through the game 12 times.
Wait. There's achievements that are specific to
like the main quest of like beat the game, like getting X number of coins or like X number of ghosts. You know what I mean? And so he did it like the first time through, getting all of them, thinking that it would just unlock everything. But it's like you have to like go through for each achievement and get like the allocated number for that achievement.
Where do you see your achievements in this game?
I would imagine it would be in the laboratory.
Yeah,
right?
probably. I haven't noticed a place to look at them.
What about toilets? Is there achievement for all the toilets? Because I'm flushing every toilet.
I flush every toilet and I turn on every sink.
I feel like
Same here.
Sink.
there have been the drawers and the toilets don't seem to ever really have much in them.
I will say there's way too many springy hands for a normal hotel, but this is no normal hotel.
The cool thing about this game is that you're like 2 hours in and you're collecting all of this money, but you don't know what this money's for.
Yes, it never explains.
So like David,
That's essentially where I'm at right now.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just collecting money for no reason at this point.
You'll get to a point.
You figure out where you can spend that money on, and the thing that you spend the money on is totally optional. So they can enhance your gameplay in some way or make it a little bit easier depending. But I love the idea that I don't know why I'm sucking up all this money, but I'm going to do it because it's like super satisfying.
It's just fun. It's just fun to get Skrilla, dude.
Yeah.
Collect that cash.
Cream.
Typical
Casual's
Nintendo game. The gameplay is awesome. There's no story.
There's more story than the other Luigi's
The
Mansion
story
games.
is the same, right? Like
Yeah.
Luigi's friends
Yeah,
have been
but
captured.
this time there's also Peach and 3 Toads. Yeah.
So Mario and friends are captured, and Luigi has. It's just like Luigi's Mansion is just like a Mario game. Instead of Princess Peach being kidnapped, it's Mario is kidnapped, and Luigi
And
has
Princess
to save-
Peach. I think there's something to that.
And 3 toads.
Yeah, exactly. Toad lives matter.
Oh boy!
Can we go back to multiplayer?
Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Go back to multiplayer.
Yeah.
So the funny thing that Lee and I, when we started playing, he played it before I did. He's like, just a warning, like we're never gonna win. And I was like, oh my god, what does that mean? It could mean anything. And so they have objectives where because it's all procedurally generated,
Yeah.
you can like find 25 ghosts.
Right.
But sometimes those ghosts are pretty well hidden.
Right.
So they're under the black light lamp and they're within a drawer.
Right.
And is it time based?
It's time. So I think you have like 5 or 6 minutes to find all of them.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
And then you can have up to 8 people. And each Luigi can have a Guigi play locally.
So there could be like 16 people
I'm
running around?
sorry, maximum of 8.
Oh,
with
okay.
4
Right,
Luigis,
right.
4 Guigis.
Got it,
but
got it,
mostly it's just like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
Even when you're doing online matchmaking, you only
Yeah.
get 5 or 6.
It depends. Depends on if the other Luigi has a Guigi with it.
Right.
Okay.
And
So it's like 4 people are being matched up, and they might have a
right.
partner with them.
So
I see.
you're trying to find these 25 ghosts that's really made for like 8 people to
Right.
solve really easily.
I just figured it would match up 8 people, but no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not how it works.
That's kind of cool though. I feel like 8 people would just be total chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's also really ridiculous because everyone splits up, but then there are little like circles on the ground where every Luigi has to stand on. So some Luigi will find it really like 30 seconds in, and they'll just stand on it. And
Just like waiting.
yeah, and the D-pad you can say things it's like over
Mario.
here, help me, over here. So he'll just stand there and say, over here, over here, over here, over here for like 4 minutes,
Yeah.
and no one will go towards him.
Yeah. It's like Booyahs in Splatoon.
It's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that sounds like I can't think of the co-op mode online in Splatoon, right? Like where like people don't know how to beat the bosses.
Yeah,
Salmon Run.
Salmon Run.
Yeah.
And you're like, booyah, over here.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it's also really satisfying because we ended up going up to floor 10 because you can do random 5 floors, 10 floors, and then at the top of the 10th floor you face King Boo as a team.
Okay.
And it's super satisfying when you win.
Hell yeah. Spoilers. I'm just kidding.
King Boo's a villain.
yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I mean,
Spoilers.
I think to wrap it up,
Yeah.
like this game, before this game came out, like I was never a huge Luigi's Mansion fan. Like I said, like I thought it was fun when I was a kid, but I wasn't like a huge fan of it. I thought it was cool that Luigi had his own game, but I was like, this is kind of one note. I never played the 3DS game. I know a lot of people really liked it. Like Jordan Willis, like loved that game, right? The guy who's been on the podcast a couple times.
Yeah, it seemed divisive, but some people really liked
Yeah, a
it.
lot of people really, really liked it. But it's like, I was really, really surprised by this game. Like, I was not really on my radar. I was just going to really pick it up and play it because I knew we were doing an episode about it. But I had no idea I'd be having this much fun. And yeah, I mean, I think it's like definitely Nintendo Game of the Year contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like definitely, it feels like kind of a bit of a sleeper hit, you know?
Definitely. It
Yeah.
looks so good. The gameplay is so satisfying. What
Yeah.
else? Yeah.
Yo, there's a level coming up that's like the most satisfying level.
Yeah. Is it the sand one? I've seen video.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was in that direct.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, I remember we were doing the reaction. We were like, "Ooh, vacuuming up sand.
Yeah.
That looks nice."
That sounds like something I'd say. It's something that I said right now.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really, really enjoying the game.
Any other final thoughts on Luigi's Mansion 3
Rocky,
before we
what
move
else
on?
do you got?
I don't know. Playing it before I came here, it kind of just made me think of a spin-off game where it'd be like a cleaning lady going through a mansion and just taking all their money.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, this game almost feels like a cleaning simulator more than
is,
anything.
kinda,
Yeah,
Very much so.
It's just there's definitely something to the like. I love that there's just shit everywhere in this game. Like it's everything is not a room that's not just filled with clutter, and it's so satisfying to just suck everything up.
Yeah, it's like when you're in the like janitor closets when there's like tons of shit on the shelves, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's the sound effects like you're talking about. They really do feel satisfying, like when you suck something in. And it's that noise. You
Getting
do.
the rats in those holes.
Yeah, slamming ghosts into each other has a really nice, satisfying sound. Yeah,
I was really enjoying walking with the toad when I released him from his painting and hearing the footsteps of Luigi, but also the little squeak of the
little pitter patter of little toad feet.
It's nice. It's nice to hear.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what else Next Level does.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it's like now that they've shown what they can do on like an HD platform. So I think it's their first HD game. I think before this they did Mario Strikers like back in the day, and they did Dark Moon. And so it's like now that I've seen what they can do, like at the very least graphically, I really want to see what they do next. Like I hope they do something. I mean, I'd love to see them do a Luigi's Mansion 4 eventually.
Or a Strikers?
Yeah, or I just love to see them with another Nintendo first party franchise, because like they're doing a great job. Don't ever let anyone tell you Canadians can't make Nintendo games. They're doing great.
Cool.
And take as much time as you need.
Well, let's move on then.
Hell yeah. Moving on to the next segment, babies. We're back now.
All right. So obviously we've all been playing a little bit of Luigi's Mansion 3, or a lot in Matt's case.
Yeah. 7 hours in one sitting.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
All day.
That's pretty good.
What else have we been playing? Anybody want to go first? No?
How about you? You always go last. Why don't you go
I'll
first?
go first.
You go first.
I've been playing a lot of Smash Brothers as always, a little bit of Mario Maker, but the game I picked up this week, I've actually had it for a while, but I just started playing it, was Golf Story.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's one of the ones I've just been sitting there on my Switch waiting to be played, and I
You
fired
hadn't
it up.
played it up to this point?
Nope, I never touched it.
Yeah.
I have a handful of games like that. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, I can't buy new games.
Yeah,
I mean, I have games I haven't even played.
Except for Pokemon.
Hey,
Buying that first day. So I really like Golf Story, actually.
It's great.
The actual mechanics of the golf in that game are super fun. Very satisfying. Talking about satisfying gameplay.
Yeah.
It's indie, like there's some stuff that's like glitchy or a little bit weird. It's not perfect. But the RPG elements are fun. It's an interesting game. I'm into it.
Golf Story is a very charming game. It's so Australian.
Yeah, they all say mate.
Yeah,
a lot.
it's got a great sense of humor to it.
Yeah, it does. And I think there's like all these little challenges in it that are very fun too. Like it's not just playing through 18 holes of golf over and over again. There's like hit the balls to the turtles or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or like bounce the balls off of stuff.
Yeah, and so like that breaks it up really well. But I'm into it, and I'm sure I'll beat it because I don't think it's a very long game. So
I don't think I ever beat it, but I don't beat most games. But it's like, it's not super long.
I think it's like a 10 or 20 hour game.
But
So
I love that. I just love the spin on the classic like NES golf mechanics.
Yeah.
That they do. It's just such a refreshing game.
yeah, and I've got it now. I know how to adjust my shot and all that pretty well.
Hell
So,
yeah. Hell yeah.
I think that's majorly it, other than Luigi's Mansion 3.
I'll go next. So I've been playing a few games. First, I do want to say the other day, this isn't specifically Nintendo necessarily, but I went to Pinball's Arcade here in Austin and played some Killer Queen, like the arcade version of Killer Queen. They have it at the like original Pinball's location.
Were there enough people to play? And all
Yeah,
that?
so basically, I was there. It was kind of like a big gathering. Like my family was in town this week, so like I was there with it was me, Sasha, two of Sasha's friends, like Sasha's roommate and her boyfriend, my brother and sister, and my parents and my sister's friend. So I was like, oh, we got enough people to play Killer Queen. But then none of them wanted to play it, right? And so like, or at least none of my family did. But then when I went up to the machine and I saw there were already 2 credits loaded in, and there were these like confused looking guys on the other side of the machine. And they were like, I was like, oh, are you guys going to play Killer Queen? And they're like, yeah, I mean, I put in 2 credits for it and it's not playing. And I'm like, well, it's a multiplayer game against both of these. And he was like, oh, well, do you guys want to play? And I was like, fuck yeah. So it was basically me and Sasha, Sasha's roommate and her boyfriend versus these 4 dudes that were on the other side. And and they already had 2 credits in there. So we had like 2 full games that we got to play for free, basically. And then I put in some money for a couple rounds after that. And it was a fucking blast. Like, we have to get a Switch Headz group out there.
What are the differences in the mechanics between that and the
it's
Switch
pretty
version?
similar. It's 5v5 in the arcade instead of 4v4. And then it's a little more like simplified. Like, the graphics are a lot worse. Like, they're more simplified than they are on the Switch. But it's the main thing is like the Queen doesn't have a designated attack button. Like, basically the designated attack button is like not there. So it's like the Queen attacks just by dive bombing. Right. So it's like a little bit harder to get kills with the Queen.
Gotcha.
But there's also like more people to kill. So
That
you kind of
makes sense.
evens
You
out.
want it to move faster on the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to get your money's worth on the arcade.
Right,
So,
yeah.
so I would really recommend, like, get Killer Queen Black on the Switch because it's really, really fun online. But like playing it in the arcade was a great, amazing experience. I did also. I'm going to go through these real quick. I also got Return of the Obra Dinn recently, which was a game that came out on PC, I think last year. Finally came out on the Switch. This is not normally my style of game. I'm a very impatient video game player, but I was totally drawn in by like the story and setting and like figuring out this mystery of this game. I can't say there's any replay value in this game whatsoever.
Did you already beat it?
I'm not 100%. I've gotten most of it. It's like, cause
It's like you're doing an investigation?
yeah, basically the idea is there's this ship called the Obra Dinn, which has been lost at sea for a while, and it like comes back into dock, or at least close enough to the dock where somebody finds it, and everybody is dead on the ship, or like either there's no one there or there are like dead bodies on the ship, and so then you're a tax man, or no, you're an insurance guy. You work for this insurance company, and your basically job is to go on the ship, and you have the ship's manifest, and you have these 2 like drawings of everybody on the ship that like an artist that was on the ship did. And you have to go in and like figure out who everybody was on the ship, like put names to faces, and then also write down how they died for like insurance purposes. And it sounds really bland, and it is truly a lot of paperwork. But it's the guy who made Papers, Please. And if there's anybody who can like make a great game about filling out paperwork, it's the dude who made Papers, Please, right?
Have you been taking like physical notes?
I haven't really, and I think that's why I'm a little bit at a bottleneck right now. I'm having to do a lot of backtracking, and I wish I'd taken better notes, like as I was just going through, because there's a lot of little things you need to keep track of, like the uniforms people are wearing, their accents. Because how it kind of works is like you have this little magic, like stopwatch that will play like about 30 seconds to a minute of audio leading up to the person's death, and then right at the exact moment of their death, it like does a freeze frame where you can walk through the moment they died. So you'll hear like a struggle, and then you'll hear like a big explosion, and then all of a sudden it pops onto the screen and you see some dude's head flying off like frozen in time, and like a gun blast and all this kind of shit. And then you have to like in that little time that it gives you to walk around, kind of take note of as much stuff as possible. It's like, oh, okay, so that's the guy who's speaking with a German accent. This is like, just a normal seaman. This is like a captain or whatever. And you have to kind of like put all those pieces together, and nothing at the beginning, and then all kind of starts cascading in as it goes. Really fun game. I would recommend it to pretty much everybody.
Is it true that if Frogger gets announced tomorrow that you'll buy everyone a copy of Return of the Obra?
Well, I said What Remains of Edith Finch, but you know what?
Hey, you gotta up the ante.
Okay, I'll buy everybody a copy of What Remains of Edith Finch and Return of the Obra Dinn. And you know what? I'm going to buy everybody an arcade cabinet of Frogger as well. Because you know what? I'm just that nice of a guy. And then the last thing I want to say, other than obviously Luigi's Mansion 3, is I did pick up Ring Fit Adventure.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I haven't played it too much. Again, I didn't have a ton of time this weekend, and I've been slammed with work. But I want to make it like a before I go to work kind of workout routine.
I wonder why you're so swole.
I look really swole right now, and that's why. That game really works you out. Like I just did the first world or whatever, and that's all I've really been able to play so far. But yeah, it's just like, God damn, you hate squats at the end of that. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it does a really great job. And I have kind of limited mobility right now. I'm kind of, I had some surgical complications earlier this year, and I went through a lot of physical therapy this year. But I found that it's like, it scales to whatever you're able to do. And it was a great workout. It's like, I'm doing a lot of the same exercises I was doing in physical therapy, which has been really helpful for me. That's kind of part of the reason I wanted to get it, keep myself active while I'm recovering. And man, it's a fucking blast. And
the RPG elements mix in well.
Yeah, they mix in really well. Like the boss battles are tough and they take a long time and you feel amazing when you beat them. And I was just totally winded at the end of it and I can't wait to play more. Yeah, it's really fun. It's not going to be for everybody, but I think if you're like looking for a way to start working out, it's definitely a good thing to do. I'll check back in next week and the following weeks, and you guys can see how buff I'm getting, how slim and
all the
svelte I'm
selfies
getting.
we post.
Yeah, right. But it's really fun. Like again, I'm really early in the game, but I'll surely be talking more about it next week. What about you, Matt? What you been playing?
Besides Luigi's Mansion, Lee and I ended up playing Death Road to Canada.
Oh, nice.
Have you played this at all?
No, but I've only heard great
You
things.
can play that co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a text-based game, though.
No.
There are dialogue choices that affect the gameplay. So the short synopsis is you're a zombie apocalypse and you're escaping to Canada. And it's kind of a twist on Oregon Trail. So you have all of these supplies and you go to like campsites or cities to get supplies. And then something happens and you might loot a place or not loot a place, but you have a car, but your car might break down or you might get attacked by zombies. And it's like super fun. But the craziest gameplay that I wasn't prepared for is because there's a zombie apocalypse and you have a limited amount of weapons, like you can't really kill all of the zombies because there are more zombies than you can kill, but also your weapons break pretty quickly.
Survival kind of thing then?
Yeah.
Like a risk reward sort of situation.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually have this inclination when I'm playing I want to loot more than I want to like destroy everything.
Yeah.
So the first time I was playing with Lee was like, stop attacking the zombies. You can't kill them. We have a limited amount of supplies.
We need to spend more time sucking up money.
Sucking and blowing that money. And we never made it to Canada. Every time I was playing, Lee has two custom characters, him and his girlfriend. And his girlfriend died like the second mission.
Of dysentery?
Yeah. Dysentery.
That sounds like a blast. I still need to check that out.
Yeah, I think it's on Switch. It's also on PC and Mac and some other platforms. And so it has like an 8-bit style, so it's like really simple. And it a lot of it, Patrick, is text based, but the choices are all in that vein of Oregon Trail, where you might go hunting or you might not.
I keep hearing it referred to as like Oregon Trail. That's why I thought it was all text. You know what I mean? Or like major text.
Isn't there a game called like Oregon Trail and Zombies or something like that?
Yeah,
Probably.
What is it called?
Oregon.
Oh,
Trail.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Oregon.
Yeah.
Because Cody Deering ended up doing a Oregon Trail improv show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he got the developers to like buy in on it.
Oh, that's cool.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's smart. Rocky, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
I got back into playing a little bit of Cave Story.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Playing through that like
Is
fifth or sixth time.
Yeah.
Story is like a platformer?
It is. It's a 2D platform.
It's like a Metroidvania.
Yeah, it's a lot like a RPG mixed with a shooter and platforming. It's so fun.
That's a classic. That's a classic game. That's been out
I got it
for
for
a
like
while.
$8 this past winter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game.
And with the little mini disc for music that came in there. And an art book.
Nicholas games, whenever they do their physical editions, like Binding of Isaac had it too. They always come with like lots of extras, like stickers and instruction manual and all that shit.
It's so fun that they do that.
Yeah, it's like
nobody
the only
does that
people still
anymore.
doing it. Yeah.
But a little bit of I bought Monkey Ball. Had high hopes for that. That sucked.
Yeah, dude, it's not good.
I kept the stickers, but I was really disappointed in the game. I ended up selling the game to GameStop, which is something I rarely ever do, but just to be able to purchase Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. So that comes with stickers too.
Yeah, it did come with stickers.
Okay, that is worth it for the stickers.
But also Nino Kuni.
Oh, nice.
That's something I picked up, I guess, a couple weeks ago. But I'm not much of a reader. I think y'all could kind of feel me on that one. But
You need that action.
I do. But the animation in Nino Kuni, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
Studio
the
Ghibli.
Miyazaki. Yeah.
Super fun. But yeah, mostly Luigi's Mansion has captured my attention and time.
Fair enough.
That's cool. Yeah, I played Cave Story back in the PC like a long time ago, and so I've been wanting to pick it up on the Switch. I wonder if it's still on sale. Maybe I'll check it out.
It's like $15 when it's not on sale.
That's way too much money.
It probably goes on sale every once in a while.
I'm sure Nicholas games go on sale all the time.
They allow you to use. You can have the original graphics or the HD graphics.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kind of neat too.
That's so good, man. When is Spelunky going to come out for the Switch, man? I feel like the original Spelunky and Cave Story were like kind of games that came out around the same time. I think it's unbelievable.
Never played Spelunky.
Oh, dude, it's one of the best games of all time. We'll talk after the show.
Definitely.
Well, I guess that's the show.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Go buy Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. If you haven't gotten it yet, if you've been holding off because you're like, Luigi's Mansion is
It's good.
It's really good.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, it's one of the best games of the year.
Sell your monkey ball game.
Keep the stickers.
Yeah. I'm glad we just kind of breezed over Monkey Ball because like it's so disappointing. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks to Corduroy for doing our music. If you want to find me online, that's Patrick. I'm PDYX most places.
You can find me on Twitter, Matthew, MATHYOU.
I am at Monolith Fiji pretty much everywhere on the internet. And what about you, Rocky?
At Carbon Mutt, but I also do videos. So if anybody's looking to do some video, Bokabat.
Hell yeah.
BOKEHBAT.com.
Cool. You shoot
Nice.
stuff?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, mostly corporate. But I mean, I'll do anything in between.
Hell yeah. If you're looking for some corporate videos, hit up your boy Rocky. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this podcast today. We hope you enjoyed it. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Super Switch Headz. That's going to be on Twitter at Switch Headz. Follow us on all these social platforms. We're posting shit all the time. It's a really nice world out there. And then we're going to be back next week with a really great topic. And we hope you guys tune in for that. And it's good doing the podcast again after having the week off.
Yeah,
right?
it's good to see y'all.
This is this is the season 2 premiere episode, if that means anything whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.